Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm busy with a new project and I am loving it. Is it from Zetster's Lab? Yesterday I was busy in my gratitude journal and I was painting and I had my watercolor paints and my Koki pens and things, but nothing wanted to flow. It was not working for me. And then I just got this brain wave. Go and slow stitch. Get your stuff, get your material, your cloth, and just make your bag, your little bag. Remember, I said when I showed you my small little watercolor set that now I need to make a bag because the little set needs to go into my handbag, but it needs its own bag. So I remember that and I just found my stuff. This is a little, I don't know, my friends always bring me stuff. I think, yes, this actually came from a friend. Her mother went into the old age home and she was cleaning her sewing room. So she brought me all the extra stuff. So I got this little Tupperware thing filled with embroidery yarn. So I've put all my yarn together the previous time when I was cleaning up. So I've got this all ready to go. I've got a bag filled. I got this bag as a present for my birthday once because my friend said, this made me think of you. So isn't it gorgeous? So this bag is filled with little pieces of cloth. And yesterday or the day before, as I was putting my new denim jacket that I made, remember, I used a charity shop find, a blanket, added some denim on it. Now I've got a beautiful jacket, but it had marks on it. I made a video, my previous video all about that. It had marks on, so I threw the whole jacket in turmeric. And afterwards I thought, you know what, there's still some random cotton and linen pieces. Let me throw that in as well. Very funny, it came out a yellowish green. So I took one of these for my back part of my bag. I always like it when I do slow stitching. I like to have a bottom part. So on this, I really just added any little piece I could find. I even ripped some. You can see there are so many little pieces in here. So I used a lot. I ripped up more. This was my back part and I just went wild. There was no plan, absolutely no plan. All I did was I started with a little piece and I just continued. And the awesome thing is, I just took any color, I dipped my hand in there, and whatever color came out, I just worked it on. You can see the stitches. I love just the ordinary one. Just an ordinary stitch. I don't know. I do this because I love doing it. And I just go with the flow. There you can see a beautiful jelly plate print. Most of these little pieces come from jelly plate prints that I cut and worked on. So when everything was kind of done, all the little blocks were worked on, I just kept going. And every little piece that was open, I added another type of stitch and I just kept going. And at the end, I actually saw I made that, and I love it. And I thought, you know what, that's going to look beautiful for the top part of my little bag. So I just continued with that. As I say, if I can do this, you can do it. But just look at this. I thought, a beautiful, you can use this for anything, really. This is just so nice. And it's funny, I put a post on my YouTube channel yesterday, just showing, as I was sitting, we were having a barbecue, and I was sitting doing this, and I said, husband, please take a photo, because I cannot take a selfie when I use both my hands to do something. So husband was taking the photos, I was posting it, and one of you said, it looks like you, it's going to be beautiful, it looks like your personality. Isn't that awesome? That is what art is all about. This looks like me. One that you're going to make is going to look like you, your personality. Even though I didn't think, I was just going. There was absolutely no plan. Oh, that was funny. As I was doing it, I told my husband, we were sitting, and I said, you know what? I was just doing it. There was just no plan. And he said, that's the best way to go. Oh, it was funny. I burst out laughing. My husband is a perfectionist, and everything gets planned to the halt, I don't know to where. And for him to say that, it was so funny. So I said, I'm glad I'm teaching you something, you know, let loose a little once in a while and just go with the flow, you know. Now look at this, going with the flow, and that is what I got. At first, it looks as if nothing is fitting. It's not going to work. It is really very, very ugly. And then I just kept going. You just keep going until you know, wow, this is fun. Look at it. So you can even use it as a book cover. Look how absolutely gorgeous this is as a cover for a gratitude journal, for a journal, for anything. So here I have my little set, my little watercolor set. This is what I need this bag for. So I was thinking about it, and I thought, at this stage, I don't think I'm going to create anything to close it with. You know, I'm going to sew. I decided, if you don't have a sew, you don't need a sewing machine for slow stitching. Really, that is the nicest thing about it. And everything that you see here that I used, you can pick up for next to nothing in charity shops, because people these days don't use these things anymore. Remember, in my mother's day and grandma's days, they did all of these, the blue boy and the red, I don't know what you call it, but they stitched all these beautiful paintings with cross stitch and stuff. That was a big thing. So nowadays, you will find these things in the older people's homes, and when they go to the old age homes or passed on, this land in the charity shops. So you get that for next to nothing. Then also little pieces of old cloth and stuff that you just buy, and you just tear them up and you put them in turmeric or tea and you just dye them. If you have a jelly plate, you print on cotton or cloth. All of these videos you will find on my YouTube channel. And so this is something anybody can do. You don't need any sewing background, not at all. But as I said, I thought, I've got the sewing machine. Let me just sew the little bag. So I'm going to sew there, right side inside, because I don't want to see those two seams. I just want the top one. So I'm just putting the right sides together, and now I am just going to sew that there and there. Usually I do a double stitch to make sure my little bag stays firm. So another thing, I've got black yarn on. Not the perfect thing to use, but I'm on a roll now, so I'm just going for it. It's going to be in the inside in any case. So I'm going to kind of make a small zigzag stitch, then I know it's going to be great. Pulling it together. I made sure while I was putting the pieces on that there's a little piece open on the side where I can do my close it up, because I knew it's gonna become a bag. So here I go. First, I also thought I'm gonna leave the bottom part frilly, but then this morning I thought, you know what, no, I want to have it closed as well. So usually when you get to the little sides, corners, I just make a little bit of little cut so that I can just push the little corners in, and they're nice and square. But isn't it awesome? It was just an ordinary piece of cloth, and voila, there I have a little bag. So this can be whatever you want it to be. Bag used for whatever you need. Once again, I used what I had to create something. That's me. You know, that's the awesome thing about creating. And lots of time people will look and say, oh, I really don't like that. It's not yours, it's mine. So you do what brings out the life and the joy in you. I always teach the little children that comes to my art workshops. They're always so scared that, but what if my mom and dad doesn't like it? I said, you know, lovey, it's your work. You need to like it. And then I show them all my artworks, and I tell them, you know, many people come in here. Some think it's fantastic. Others don't say a word. That's fine. But do you like it? Does it bring out the joy and the peace and the love and the life in you? That's what it's all about. That is what creating is all about. And if I can do it, you can do it. This is what this is all about. So what I thought, let's see if it's going to work. I am now just going to put my little book in. The book that I'm going to use. This little thing, it works with, it stays together, but I don't know if it's gonna last if you actually stay closed. So there you have it. My stuff are now inside. I am not gonna put my bigger things in. This is just what I'm gonna use when I go on a trip, and when I take my handbag. This is gonna be in my handbag permanently. So I thought, you know what, depends on what is in it, how large my bag is going to be. So I thought I'm just going to close it up like this and then put it in. So I am not going to do the fastening thing. But now what I actually are thinking, you remember those things. You have the button there, and then you just have a piece of rope or a something like this that you just work on there. Now, not a plastic one, but you get the this in Afrikaans is a rack. You call it a rack in Afrikaans, and now I forgot the English name. Elastic band. So on the one side there, not on both, not through it all, then you can't get your stuff in, but there's something there on top. I can just sew a nice band, elastic band, and beautiful elastic band. So I can either close it up like this. I don't even have to sew it on. It can actually just be a band, elastic band. But the problem with that is when you take it off and throw it, it can get lost. So it will be great if I actually sewed that onto the one side, and then leave it like that, and then just close it up like this. As I said, I wanted something simple. I don't want to struggle with a little knot and stuff when I just want to take out my things. So I can either do the button there and just have a little string there that will also just go around the button, but it's always elastic is better, because when I've got more stuff in, it can stretch a little bit. So there you have it, my little bag. As I say, I love it. It's another part of me, show my personality. If I can do it, you can do it. There is a beautiful little bag that I created with things that I have in my home. Use what you have to create what you love. And yesterday, the whole day, I was just sitting in the sun. It was so lovely. And I was just slow stitching, not thinking, just putting this whole thing together, and voila. So you can do with your little bag whatever you want. I was thinking, I've had all my buttons out. You can see how beautiful it is if you add some buttons here and there. You can add some things that, tossels, we call it in Afrikaans. Just little things that hang down. Whatever you want, you can do. The sky is not even the limit. And that is what creating is all about. You use what you have. As I said, I didn't have to buy anything to do this. Not a single thing. I had everything. And the awesome thing also about it, when the urge came to do this, I could just go, get my bag with all my little pieces, and this little thing, it even has its own pair of scissors and the needles there, and voila. Because another thing, if I now have to go and search for stuff, when I get the urge to do something, but now I don't know where my stuff is and I need to go and search for it, then I just leave it at times. Really, that is just too much bother. But can you imagine this in my handbag? I've got a little leather rucksack handbag that I always wear when we go on a trip, because sometimes especially when you go for a little walk, to have the rucksack, it's so lovely. So I always put my art supplies that I'm gonna use when we go on a small, short little trip into town. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I can sit in the car and wait for a husband for half an hour. And then I've got that little time that I can create something. And then it's in my bag. And then I take it out. I sit and I sketch. And in the blink of an eye, he's back. I mean, years back, we always go together into town. Because we both work from home. So whenever we need to go into town, mostly we go together. Lots of times he goes to site inspections, I travel with, and then I sat in the car. If it's a place where I can't walk and explore, I'll just sit in the car. Very, very bored. Many, many times in the past, I was really upset, you know, because he loves to talk as well, chat. So he goes to buy his stuff, and then for hours, no, not hours, but half an hour or something, and I sit in the car. Those days are gone. Now I enjoy myself. When he comes back, I've created something. And I'm a new person. You see, so this is it. So, and every time when I take out my little bag, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna look at it, look at all the colors, look at all my stitching, and just thought, oh, this is so beautiful. Love you lots, he said from Zetster's Lab. Once again, if I can, you can. Thank you for all my new subscribers, new friends. Nothing is nicer than when I open my YouTube channel and I have a message. It has a message and it goes like this. Hi, I found your channel. What a joy, or something like that. And love from Australia, you know, or something like that. It's just so precious. So to all my precious new friends and old friends out there, thank you that I can share my journey with you, share the love, the life in us, and do whatever you can and have to do to bring out the life in you, the abundant life that is in me and you and all around us. It's there. So we need to get it moving and get it out into the world, to this realm, because we're spiritual beings. And for me, the easiest way to feel alive is to create something. That makes me very, very glad to be alive. Love you lots. He said from Zetster's Lab.